Majority of agency owners work 12 to 14-hour days on tasks that they absolutely hate and are stuck at the same revenue level for the last 12 months. And this is consistently what I've been hearing on my sales calls. And I wanted to create the video on going over the actual hires that I've added and also tasks that I've delegated that got me to a point that I'm working 3 to 4 hours on tasks that I absolutely love, and I have a team that's consistently dialing in, bringing money into the business while actually growing the business, while my time not being kept at a standstill, while my bandwidth not being spread out across every single area of the business. And this is one of the most important things that allowed me to not only enjoy working on my agency, but working on things that I absolutely love. And I honestly feel like this could actually help so many people get to a point that they actually enjoy the business, actually enjoy the things that they love in their business while it growing past that multi-6 figures and multi-7 figures, right? Now, before I even go into what's actually helped me, the tasks and hires that I've done, the biggest book that I've actually helped me is usually 2 books. So the first one is Clockwork by Mike McCowish, that's something his name, and also Down Martell's Buy Back Your Time, right? And I promise you, if you just read these 2 books for every single thing that I mentioned, you're gonna find extreme value in them, and they're actually gonna get yourself a work towards getting yourself out of the business while maintaining your revenue level or even growing your revenue level, which is the most important thing. Now, let's get straight into the tasks that actually helped me get out of the business. And the first task is, I like to call it admin task, right? So anything between email, you checking your emails, you doing calendar coordination, or perhaps you doing bookkeeping, any of these tasks, or perhaps lead sourcing, you want to get rid of as soon as possible, because this literally drains your energy. Like it's just clicking button task at the end of the day. And that's what I used to call it, just clicky button task. And a lot of agency owners are doing these clicky button tasks where it could be easily delegated to a VA from the Philippines for $3 an hour, right? Because they're just clicky button tasks. It doesn't matter if you're smart, it doesn't matter if you have a degree, it's just very much admin tasks. And soon, hopefully AI is gonna come in and usually revolutionize these whole tasks, right? We're seeing AI bookkeepers, we're seeing AI admin, we're seeing a lot of things AI, let's say Clay, right? Lead sourcing from Clay could all be done by AI. And you can use a VA and they could just be multifunctional VA. Now, a big tip for this is actually training your VA on how to use AI, and using AI tools in combination with the VA just lets them, especially if you have a good VA, they can do an output of 3 to 5 VAs because they have AI, they've got automation, and they could just basically be like a super VA, which is a virtual assistant, and they can take care of so many tasks for you. And honestly, once I got a VA to come in, deal with all my, let's say, they've done my emails, they've done admin, they replied to customers as well, and also they've done personal assistant. So let's say if I wanted to go out and I wanted to take, I don't say like my girlfriend to a restaurant, she'll go book the restaurant, she'll do everything there for me. And it just saved me so much time and so much bandwidth. And we literally talk every single day. Every single day we have a 15 to 30 minute meeting going through the main essentials, everything I need. So she constantly updated about my personal life as well as what's going on in the business. And the key thing is about getting a virtual assistant or more of a, let's say, operational assistant is just keeping them in the loop of every single thing that's going on, and also making clear SOPs on how things work. Now, you do have to understand that this virtual assistant can be wearing many hats, right? Some days she'll be a lead sourcer, some days she'll be a customer support analyst, she'll do, or he will do a lot of things in the business and wear a lot of hats. But honestly, this could literally save you 25 hours per week to only 50 hours per week, depending on how much tasks you got going on. So 100% incline you right now, even if you're making 5K per month, spend that $200 in getting a virtual assistant, because it's going to give you so much bandwidth to focus on the next thing, right? So once you get your virtual assistant, or let's say someone in to help you with all the admin stuff, the next hire you're going to be making is a setter, right? Now, this could be someone for setting, if you're doing outbound, if you're doing anything like inbound, this could be someone to help you create the content, right? Something that actually helps you generate more appointments, okay? Now, this is for agencies specifically. A setter is definitely gonna work for you. Now, this setter, their job is to reply to messages, lead source, do every single thing in terms of all the way from the client getting the first message to replying to objections, following up with them, and actually booking them into your calendar. So a good way that you know you got a good setter, that they're basically self-managing, right? They wake up, they send the reports, they do a tracking sheet, and they basically just manage themselves. And all you do is just wake up with appointments on your calendar. And that's the main thing. You just want appointments on your calendar each and every single day without you thinking about it. And to get to this point, it requires you to actually have found proof of concept yourself, right? Make sure you have a SOP of all the messages that you can send to a setter. They can use it. They have successful sets. They can actually see you setting successfully, and they can imitate that, basically copy that into their strategy, so they can actually use it and actually start replicating everything you've done and start booking you appointments, right? And once you have a setter, honestly, I remember when I first had my setters book me 4 appointments in a day, it felt so nice. It felt like a relief, because I knew that every day I woke up, there was appointments on my calendar. I knew that I wasn't going to be starving. Like, I knew as an agency owner, essentially in sales, appointments is the lifeblood of the business. So I knew every single week we had appointments coming in, we had things going, and it was just very calm because I'll open my calendar and I'll see the next week and the calendar's already full. And I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be making money today, or we're going to be making money this next week. So get in a setter, and you can get them for commission only. And basically these are risk-free. Like, the only risk you really have with the setter is just making sure that the system works, right? And you're just hiring a good quality setter, right? You can pay them on a commission only between $30 to $50 per appointment. And honestly, having them in your business is going to save you so much time, headache, and it's going to make you so much money. It's like one of the biggest ROI tasks that I've ever, or how I hire and things I've delegated, that's gave me so much money back, right? And yeah, you're also creating jobs, which is also a good thing in terms of feeling good, right? Helping people, making sure they're getting paid, and yeah, potentially growing the business. Then after that is client delivery and communication. So now what you want to do is delegate, let's say setting up clients, doing campaigns, client communication. All of that can be delegated to an account manager. Now these account managers, you want to make sure they're specific to the delivery platform that you choose. So for example, you're going to get a media buyer if you're running ads, you're going to get more of an account SDR manager or a setter if you're doing outbound for clients, right? And at this point, they will take care of the whole situation. And how you know that they're actually taking care of everything is that when you wake up, clients' questions are always answered to specific accuracy. And in order to actually get an account manager working or a media buyer working, what's worked best for me is to really dial in my process and literally simplify every single thing from the onboarding to the fulfillment of my process, of my delivery, and basically help me turn my delivery process, which it was, to an actual productized service. And that's one of the biggest things actually hiring a media buyer, or in the process of my media buyer, that I learned is that in order to make them successful, you basically have to strip down all the fat of your service and make it in terms of a product so someone else can easily understand how to go about delivering clients. And once you get someone to deliver client results, right? Like, I know making sales is good, but honestly, when a client is 100% happy, they refer you, they actually like your service, and you wasn't even the one actually delivering for them. It just gives you that sense of fulfillment, right? It just makes you feel literally fulfilled on every single part of your service, because you understand that you actually have a product, you actually have something that like actually brings value to your client. So it's honestly like another world, right? So 100%, then I'll then hire ads or media buyer to actually come help me. And the last one is getting a sales rep, right? Getting a sales rep to take care of the calls, the follow-ups, everything like that is going to save you so much time, right? For example, let's say you're booking 5 to 10 calls per day. That's literally 25 hours of solid work. You actually have to be on the calls, and this is not including follow-ups. It doesn't include emails around them calls. There's so much admin things that comes with sales, and getting a sales rep to take care of everything.
Yeah, so just my video cut out, but one thing I want to say is hiring sales rep. Now, hiring sales rep to take care of your sales calls and also your sales follow-ups, everything in terms of sales is going to help you so much when getting yourself out of business. Because once you start booking sales calls, you have to realize that you're going to be spending 5 to 10 hours per day just selling, right? Just being on the calls, just talking to the prospects. And sometimes as you start booking, like, let's say 50 to 100 calls per week, it's going to be so exhausting, right? And I remember at this point where I got to a point that I had to take a break from the sales because I was just on so many sales calls back to back. And sometimes because we were on so many sales calls, you're actually kind of resenting the sales calls a bit. Like, you get to a point where you're like, I'm on so many, I don't really want to go into it because I spend so much of my time on these bloody sales calls. So hiring a sales rep, again, is going to be one of the last things you do to actually get yourself out, okay? Now, this is going to be so crucial. I remember when I hired my sales rep and I went to Newcastle, which is basically a city at the north of England. And I was at Newcastle, I was just having a dinner, and my sales rep had 9 calls back to back, right? And I was just there, just having a dinner, and I remember just opening my phone and just having 2 or 3 Stripe notifications come while I was at Newcastle. All my days, when I had that feeling, it was just ecstatic. I was like, oh my God, this is working. Like, I actually have built a system that have made money without me being involved in the whole money making process, because the deliveries are dialed in, the setters are doing the work, the operations are doing the work, and also the sales rep is doing the work and actually bringing money to the business without me being involved into it. And I wish everyone could just experience that feeling that they can actually just go to perhaps go lunch or go somewhere with travel or do something like that, and money still come into the bank account. And that's one of the most important things that I've ever understood, like when it comes to actually building out a sales team, right? So what you want to do is actually, in order to get the sales, you want to make sure that you're good at sales first, right? So you want to make sure that you're closing around 25%, and you've actually had documented closes around 10 to, like, so say 20 documented closes, and then you want to start hiring a sales rep. Now, once you start hiring a sales rep, they're not going to close as good as you, usually what I found, but what they're going to do is they're going to be able to actually have more volume of calls than you, because they're going to be open, let's say 10 to 12 hours per day, right? And you could be open for, let's say 5 hours, because you have other things that you need to do, right? And because they have so much time, you can just put so much volume into their calendar, which right, they're going to be closing more volume of clients, because A is going to allow you to book way more meetings, and all they're going to be doing is waking up selling, waking up selling, waking up selling, waking up selling, waking up selling. They're going to be so dialed in on sales that it's going to help them gradually get to a point that they're closing at 15-20% of all deals or all calls that they get. And once you get to that point that your closer is just consistently closing, right? It's very hard. It's just closing deals after deals after deals after deals, right? All your job is just to make sure you're feeding with so many appointments, right? And that's when you want to get to a point that you're actually just feeding your closer with so many appointments that all you're doing right now is just talking about marketing at a high level, doing sales training with the closer, and focusing on product and content, right? And this is the level that I'm on right now. With the majority of my days, I just spend on building the product, helping out with some client fulfillment, things like that. And also just training my sales reps, okay, to actually just take on calls and actually just make sure they're closing. And to be honest, that gives you time not only to actually focus on other business strategies, or for example, adding new platforms, or for example, new marketing, new content ideas, new product ideas. It gives you so much bandwidth, but not only that, actually bandwidth to actually enjoy your life, right? Actually, perhaps work from a coffee place. Like a lot of people, we work from remote, but everyone wants to just be stuck in their bed like the bloody hermit, right? And just work like in their room. But there's other things in the world. Like everyone, if you're working remote as an agency, which majority of the agencies are, like, why don't you go out? Why don't you just see the world a bit and work from different locations, right? And that's if it's your cookie, do that. Actually enjoy the privileges you have from working remote, right? While you have it. So that's the main thing. So just to clarify, the biggest thing is first start with admin, right? Then get a seller to take care of the appointments, and then make sure you have a delivery guy to make sure you have the delivery dialed in for the clients, and then get a sales rep to actually take care of all these calls. Now, if you get to a point where you have this team in place, this solid 4 teams or 4 team members in place, you're going to be in a very well positioned very well positioned to focus on other things in the business, actually strategy, actually moving the business forward, while all of these other people are focusing on bringing in sales for the company, right? And that's the main thing that I've used to actually skill myself out of the agency. Well, like I said, I'm working on the highest leverage things, and this actually excites me to come into, like, start working things like that, because I'm working on things that I actually care about, that actually pull my business forward, right? That I actually want to do. Okay, so that's essentially it. And if you want help essentially with the process of getting yourself out, there is a link below for us to have a chat. Just click that link and you talk to me or a member of my team, and then yeah, we can get straight to that. But if you like these videos, like, subscribe. The YouTube algorithm is going to love you and send you more videos like this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.